up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Livin With Intention. Now, this tiny home, it's tough to call it a tiny home, even though it is only 254 square feet on the inside. And you know, it just like right here, like it just doesn't really feel like it, you know? And I think it's due to these high vaulted ceilings. I mean, you walk in and it's just like, wow, there's just a lot of space in here. It fits up to 4 people. This couch to the right of me here folds out to a very large bed. There's a queen bed up in that loft up there. It is incredibly spacious in here. So many windows, there's tons of natural light. It's very airy, it's very open. You're not cramped in. It's amazing here. And not only is the inside of the tiny house pretty impressive, but the outside, there's a lot of covered porch area. I mean, there's tons of seating out there and you have this amazing view of farmland and a river right there. It's incredibly peaceful here. It is such an awesome spot. And I actually got to sit down with Amber and Tyler, the owners, last night, and they built and started this tiny home all themselves. It's on their land. They live right next door, even though there's a privacy fence, so you still feel pretty secluded. But hearing their story and getting to talk with them last night and hearing all the trials and tribulations and injuries and mishaps and everything, it just really gives you another sense of appreciation of how this place came to be. There was a lot of blood and sweat and tears that went into this. And at the end of the video, I'll throw in some clips from them kind of discussing their process and their thoughts on it. That's really bugging me. Without further ado, let's just get right into the tour. So when you pull into the spot, you're just greeted by this spectacular looking tiny home. And there's a nice little stone pathway lined with a few lights that just takes you right down past a fire pit that I had a lovely fire at last night. And you know, listening to the river and the birds down here, I mean, I just came from New Hampshire where it's still winter currently, so getting that spring feeling down here was pretty special to me. And then you follow the covered pathway and it leads you right to this deck. And like I said, this deck's impressive. They have tons of lights out there and you can see the river right from the porch and a bunch of chairs and a bunch of seating options. And it's just a really cool spot to hang out. If you're here with like a group of friends and you don't want to be confined to the inside of space, it's the perfect spot out there to just kind of hang out, relax, have a couple drinks, even eat some dinner. And then you come inside and all of your stresses and worries are just washed away as you are flooded with this feeling of homeness. And they've just done such a wonderful job with it. I mean, just the simple decorations. They have these really cool old school postcards hung up on the wall. All of the decor just goes really well with each other. And one of the coolest things, as you will obviously see, is there's a lot of raw wood here. And this wood was gathered from Tyler's friend and milled from his property. Tyler claims that he probably sanded every single piece of wood that is in this house, and there's just so much of it, so much natural wood, and the live edge too. It just gives that such a natural feel to it that I am such a huge fan of. And they also just pair it so nicely with all the white accent walls and the black touches. It's just really incredible in here. And as I said, you know, you have the couch right here with the stairs behind me leading up to the loft. But then over here, right to the left of me here, you have a kitchen. And for a tiny home, the kitchen really packs a lot in. They've got a 2-sided deep basin sink in there, which is impressive for a tiny home, you know? Having 2 sides to the sink really makes it so that your dishes don't build up in there, you're not crowded over there. It's awesome. And they've got lots of counter space. They have a lot of really nice wood cutting boards. And they even have this impressive coffee bar featuring loads of different coffee makers, French press, mocha pot, and just a typical drip coffee. And I really enjoy the open shelf cabinets. It's a nice look to it. It saves space. You don't have cabinets that you have to pull out to like watch your head or anything. It's just, you know, everything's right there. Everything you need, you can just get it, and you're good. And like I said, they got tons of plates and mugs and bowls and cups and everything you'd need. They also have a 2-burner hot plate stove for all your cooking needs. I chefed up some waffles. Oh, no waffles. I chefed up some pancakes this morning. I'm so used to saying waffles because that's usually all I make. But I made pancakes this morning and they were delightful. And then this really neat feature that they have is like this almost like hidden, tucked away shelf that is indented into the wall. So it's like, it's in the wall, but there's no cabinets or anything. It's just inside the wall and it's tucked away. It's a really big space saver, which for tiny homes is a necessity. And they also provide a toaster oven and a microwave and all the pots and pans and cooking utensils that you could need. And I also want to point out their drawers and cabinets that they do have under the sink. They're rounded corners, which I don't know that I've ever actually seen before, but I'm a really big fan of them. It's almost like a retro look to it, and I think it works really well. I mean, this is a tiny home. This is a design that could absolutely be lived in. There's tons of storage. I mean, like right there is all storage underneath. There's a closet in the bathroom as well. There's lots of room in here. It is completely livable. It could totally be a forever home and not just a short-term rental, you know? And then moving on behind me here, you see that wooded door back there. That is the bathroom. And this bathroom is a dream. You have this incredible looking rain shower, and it almost feels like you're in like a luxury hotel in there. It is so well decorated and so well designed. I mean, it's beautiful in there. And I think for a tiny home, they definitely didn't slack on the bathroom, which sometimes it can be tough to fit everything in a tiny home, including a bathroom, but they did not short that. They did such a wonderful job with it. And then also you can see like all the wood here, it's just the wood floor, the wood siding over there, all of the wood in here is just amazing. I'm such a big fan of it. And that door too. And I love the little black accent handle pieces on that and the sink and just all around here. It's just, I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. And I also wanted to notice that in the living room, they do have a TV. If it's like a rainy day and you don't really know what to do, you can sit back on the couch, enjoy some TV. They also have this electric fireplace that not only adds a wonderful ambiance to the lighting and the mood, but it actually also produces heat too. So it's like a win-win. But they do have a mini split heater and cooling system as well. The summer months, keep it cool. Winter months, keep it warm. And then one of my favorite parts of it, these stairs. I mean, you can see them right here, but they're just so cool. I've never seen anything like that before. They're just like, I don't even know how to describe it. But in tiny homes, a lot of the times it's ladders, which can be extremely tough for those with knee problems or other physical ailments, or, you know, older people that aren't maybe as agile or mobile as a younger person like myself. So these stairs, I mean, you watch me go up them, I'll go up them again. I mean, they're pretty normal stairs. They're, you know, they're not like you're climbing up a ladder or anything. They're just very simple. Well, they're not simple. They're very cool looking, but they're not steep. It's not a ladder. You don't have to really climb. They're just like almost a normal staircase, just with a really funky design that I love. And then you get to the loft, and this loft is definitely the highlight of the tiny home for me. It is such a comfortable queen bed, first of all. There's a record player up there, second of all. And then I also just love the view that you can get down here from up there. It's just a really cool perspective of this space as well. And it's very open up there. You don't feel cramped. There's no roof that you're gonna like sit up in the middle of the night and hit your head. So it's very open. You don't have to worry about any of that. And then the balcony window / door up there that you can just open up, walk right out there, and then you have the river, the farmland, the sunrise, the sunset. It is incredible. That is such a unique factor too. I've never seen anything like that. Getting to hear the bird chirps in the morning and waking up to the sunrise was definitely something that I will not soon forget. But yeah, this spot is really cool. I love the uniqueness and size factor of it. It really doesn't feel like a tiny home, even though it is only 254 square feet, which is such a small footprint. And all the wood being harvested from a local property, milled on that same property, and having it all built by the owner. It just really gives it a personal feel to it, and just, you know, it really makes you feel good about staying here. It's a cool spot, and hearing their story, as I'm sure you'll hear, you'll fall in love with them and the home itself. So I will definitely link their Instagram and Airbnb listing in the description below. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm really loving these episodes and I can't wait to continue doing it. I hope you feel the same, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.
So, okay, so what was the question again?
I'm Amber.
I am Tyler.
And this is Little River Tiny House. It used to be really small, and now it's kind of like, we joke that it's called the Little River Mini Mansion.
Mini Mansion.
But yeah, 2 years in the making, finally open.
Yeah. we had like talked ever since we were first together about building a tiny home one day, and you know, we were kind of obsessed with that idea, you know. And
So we're like, okay, well, let's just throw up a tiny house in the back.
because I'm a teacher, I don't make a lot of money, and she's good with sales, and so I kind of knew that she would be the breadwinner essentially. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't care.
Right.
More of the fact that I didn't want her to feel like she had to be the breadwinner, you know. So I wanted to do something. So I was like, well, I can build, I think. And so, so that's what kind of got us spurned. Like, well, what if we built, you know, a little tiny house up on the hill there, and you know, rented that out, and that was like could help with income. And we weren't really sure how much it would help, but surely something.
And I was working at a mortgage company, which is like not my forte
Right.
at all.
Who wants to do that? Right.
Yeah, just very 9 to 5. I was not being, my skills weren't being used. I was like, felt like I was dying inside a little bit. And I went to school for hospitality management in Orlando and loved it. And I'm like, I just want to do something with that knowledge and that passion. And so when he showed interest and wanted to do this as well, I was like, we can do both.
The guy who married us, our pastor, he had acreage up in Rogersville, and
2 hours later.
he pitched the idea to us too. He's like, I think you guys should do it, absolutely. Because he's building a tiny house and a couple cabins up on his property up there.
Other people thought we were crazy.
Yeah, everybody
Like,
thought
bunch
we were
of
nuts.
dreamers.
And so then he supplied us with the wood for like pennies on the dollar. Like, it's the only way we could have done it, to be honest. I mean, I think I've literally touched every piece of wood in here and sanded it, so by hand. It took 2 years to do this and everything else.
Working full time
Yeah.
and doing a fence.
So we did the privacy fence because we wanted a fence for Lincoln, but then also for these guests that when they drive in, hopefully it feels way more private than, you know, hopefully you don't recognize you're in a neighborhood. You know, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know how to do. I mean, before this, I'd built decks and, you know, for my parents and a couple other people, friends, whatever.
Some beds.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of remodeling, but like nothing up to this level. And
But you did want to be an architect. Never went to school for it.
Yep.
But he's always loved like drawing. Like
yeah, ever since I was a kid,
sketches.
making sketches of houses. And so this was just kind of like almost like a passion project in some ways, you know. I mean, it's just a lot of YouTube, trying to figure out how to do this or that. A lot of networking with local builders, people that I knew that built. I mean, and there was a lot of things that I did on here that, I mean, it was hard to find an answer to. Like if one
short
day,
steps.
you know, my mom and dad need to come stay with us or whatever, like, I want something to where they can walk up easily. And I
Yeah, if
wanted
you had to like
feel
turn
like
this
they,
into a mother-in-law suite, then
yeah, I wanted to feel like they could just like kind of float up the stairs.
Right.
And not feel like they had to like step up. And it is 254 square feet of floor space and then loft space, and then it's about 350 square feet of covered porches.
and this was originally just supposed to be like a box, like a big rectangle, supposed to be done over a summer when he's not teaching. Boom, done, like super easy. But then the rain kept hitting and like hammering the side of the house, and he's like, it's gonna wash away the house. And so then he added the porch, and then he added the side, so everything kept getting bigger and bigger.
Did you have to get any kind of building permit from the town?
Did we? Yes, we did. So that whole process was extremely stressful for me.
No one tells you how to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And, like,
So I went and talked to the head permit guy down there and just said, hey, look, this is what we want to do. You know, we need this to be a secondary dwelling on our property. How do we do that? You know? And he was awesome. They were great. And I mean, they came in here and they were able to tell us what to do here, and you know.
Yeah, we were scared about the stairs and everything. We're like, oh no, he's gonna make us rebuild these. No, signed off on everything.
That's awesome.
So I mean, you know, he gave us like, you know, make sure there's a hand railing here,
Make sure it's this
there.
tall. Yeah.
I'm glad I went through that process though, because it definitely made me feel better about the structure.
Right.
So
it's not weighing on your conscience or anything.
Yeah.
right.
So with the ladders, the fire, one day he had like some sort of tool
chainsaw,
and he cut through his jeans into his knee, and like calls me and says he's on his way to the emergency room to get stitches, and did the same thing to his hand.
Yeah, ran through a table saw.
Then he fell
right
through the
my
deck
joint
as
there.
he was building it and got his leg stuck in the deck. I was working at my 9-to-5 job and
Miserable.
But the day I put it on Airbnb, or the day after I put it on Airbnb, I got let go from my job. And so it was like the weirdest phenomenon. And I'm like, what if nobody books? What if no one comes? And now I just don't have a job. And like, I don't know. But it's crazy. We're booked through November.
Tug and pull and push emotional stress is probably, out of all the physical things that happened, emotionally, it was harder. Like, and I went through a lot of physical things for sure. So, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would have at the time. I even told her, like, can we just sell the house? Like, I'm over it.
Actually,
I wanted to quit 10 times.
Halfway through, he was like calling a realtor to put everything up for sale. And I was like, my gosh, you can't stop now.
We were literally almost done. Like, I think it was like October we opened. I think it was like September. I was like,
he's like, I'm done with this place. I'm gonna light it on fire.
You're unhappy.
Stop.
I've been through more physical crap than I even know what to do with on this place. Like, she's like,
we were like out of budget. We couldn't finish it. And so we were like, I don't know how we're gonna finish it. And I was like, we're so close. We're so close. And he was like, I don't have anything left in me to finish it.
Yeah, I was exhausted. I mean, I was done. And she was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, it's like now or never. Like, we gotta just push through. And I was like,
but yeah, 2 years in the making, finally open.
Awesome.
all right.